Hello, it's good to have you join us again for a fresh edition of your program, Close Flow, coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. We are quite happy to have you join us again because we know that you are always expecting to meet a distinguished Nigerian or to meet a distinguished guest on this show so that we can share opinions, share ideas, share knowledge, share information, and also look at how Nigeria can become one of the greatest nations on the face of the earth. Today, we are still going to be doing that. We are going to be looking at, a lot of people have things to say about that particular profession. Some say that where you have an economist in the house, they can be sure that budgets will be very, very critical. That where you have an economist in the house, then you can't have free spending days. Everything has to be accounted for. That where you have economists in the house, then you are very, very accountable to all the fellows who are going to be giving you money. So we're going to be looking at that aspect of the national life, that is the economist and where Nigeria is going to be digitally. Are we actually prepared for that? Are we ready for that migration? Are we ready for that next level of the global revolution? If we are not, then I'm sure our guest will be telling us. But who is our guest? Stay with us. We're back shortly.
Hey, beautiful. Your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight.
Now reading page 3.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Close Flow, and let me quickly just give you a teaser so that you can see the kind of personality we have here in the studio, who's going to be sharing with us his own perspectives and his own experiences on how Nigeria can be digitally ready to take on the world. Well, our guest is used to be chief economist and chief sustainability officer, at a bank, one of the biggest banks here in Nigeria. He was also the head of the intelligence group and coordinator of the CSR and the health, safety, and the environment section of that bank. But more than that, also, he has been one of the key drivers to the successes of that bank before he left to set up his own consultancy. Our guest, incidentally, is a trained economist, double degrees, both at the bachelor's and the postgraduate level. He is also a certified financial analyst. So that tells you something. That tells you that you cannot joke around. You cannot place a budget on the table and think that you can hoodwink him. Now, besides that, he has served as a keynote speaker, resource person for a lot of financial organizations. So we decided to bring him into the studio to come and tell us how Nigeria can be digitally prepared to take on the world. My pleasure to welcome, on your behalf, onto Close Flow, Marcel Okeke. You're welcome to Close Flow.
Thank you very much for having me here.
You're welcome.
Thank
Now, so let's start. Let's first define the roles. Let's understand what exactly the subjects are.
Okay.
Now, so when you say digital economy, what are the components of digital economy? What does that constitute? What does it mean to the woman who is selling body on the street?
Thank you so much for that question. There are various ways to, explain, because I won't call it definition, explain digital economy. But let me say, it is the application of information communication technology, in our everyday life activities. For example, when you hear online business, it's instead of you moving from here to Ikeja to go and buy something. You stay here now, You understand?
You go online.
You go online and you buy it and pay online. It is, instead of the man coming from Onitsha to Idumota to buy spare parts, the man will stay in Onitsha and connect the man who is at Idumota here who is selling spare parts. And they agree and he pays from there online. And what he has bought will be carried to him.
Wow.
And that is why you don't hear the issue of armed robbers, attacking and killing people on the road anymore. That's why what we now hear is kidnapping and such things. No more armed robbers, who were late traders either at Ijebu or wherever. That side. It is technology that has taken place. And that's why you have online transactions. And that also comes to the issue of banking. You understand? So that's why I told you every aspect of human activity is involved. So instead of going to the banking hall to collect your tally and join the line, which could take you the whole day, you can just stay here now using your phone, check your account, do the transaction, transfer the money from your own account to somebody you want to give the money to.
Yes.
And that is it.
Now, what you have just said here.
All that make up the digital economy.
Okay, now, but these are commercial activities.
Okay.
So when you say digital economy, is that also supposing or translated to e-commerce? Is that what you're saying? Are they alternative words? Are they synonymous?
Come again.
Now, digital economy, e-commerce. So are they synonymous?
They are not synonymous. E-commerce is an aspect of digital economy. When you say digital economy, it's all embracing, meaning every economic activity is now aided or driven by technology. That's why you have the digital economy. If you're a farmer, it's not a question of you carrying your hoe and going to dig the ground, blah, blah. You understand? So there's a way to bring technology into it. And when technology comes into it, you begin to do it on a larger and easier, more efficient, scale.
And that's what we are looking at here.
That's what we are looking at. Okay. If somebody has to travel, how do you get your ticket? You understand? Whether by air or by land or by sea, how do you get your ticket up front? Several weeks, several days, you have already pocketed your ticket. Even the seat number and everything is already allocated to you. So everything is involved.
So the ease of doing business across, that is what you're looking at.
Across the spectrum, across every human activity.
Okay, now, but let's come back to something that recently happened. Mr. President gave us, as it were, a strategy, a document, a paper that should help Nigeria to become digitally, economically driven. Now, have you looked at that document? Do you think it's right? Some people think it's brilliant.
It is really brilliant. It's really brilliant because the whole world is going digital. I said the whole world. So for Nigeria, we cannot be a bystander. And so what the government has done, or what the president has done, is a foundational way of starting. And let me also tell you, for the first time in this country, a ministry is designated Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. So there is ownership, meaning that whatever the president intends to do, there's a ministry that will drive it. You understand? So meaning that something is being properly put in place for the digital economy to kickstart and, in fact, be realized. Or fast tracked, indeed. Because we already built on what other people are doing. We won't go to start, from the scratch all through.
You seem to be excited by this news because... why is that?
I mean, if you were using your hoe and digging the ground before, and you are now told there's a better way and easier way of doing something, why will you not be happy? You understand? And that's what's going to happen to everybody. I say everybody.
Okay, now let's come to that again, because that's some recently UNCTAD, United Nations Conference for Trade and Development.
Yes.
A year ago, held a conference in Kenya on about this same digital economy and how Africans should be part of this. Now, Africa has 54 countries.
Yes.
Almost 120 billion
human beings. Yes.
So, where will all this mean? What will all this mean?
Thank you very much. Let me bring it down home. The World Bank released a document which is called a diagnostic on the digital, making Nigeria economy digitally driven. So they have studied, they had to break down.
The World Bank?
The World Bank itself did a study, diagnostic. Let's diagnose this Nigeria and see how ready, what are
we
like
need.
Yeah, exactly what really are there when you talk about digitalizing the entire economy. So they were looking at the population you mentioned. Nigeria is about half the population of West Africa.
Yes.
Alone.
Yes.
Nigeria.
Yes.
So you're talking about 200 human beings.
Yes.
And when you talk about the youth who are all hooked, to full ICT and all that. So you can now see the prospect of, when we talk about digital economy, you are talking about empowering the youth, more or less. The youth segment, which is almost 50% of this Nigerian population. You understand? So, somebody that's already using some old ways, that one is gone. But the youth, they are restless. They want easier and faster ways, something new. And so each one of them is hooking on. And that's why now you have digital marketing, you have digital this sales, you have digital, everything is going digital. And so that study, the World Bank study, is telling us how the massive potential that this economy has if we go digital. You understand? Because we are talking about unemployment. How can you be talking about unemployment when you can stay in your bedroom and use your gadget and be making millions for yourself? You understand? Employment doesn't mean see you on the streets pushing truck and all that, or pushing cars and all that, collecting rubbish. No, that's not employment. You use your brain and you make money. And that's what digital economy is all about.
Now,
using various
Marcel,
apps.
yes. Marcel, we have to be very clear so that
Yeah.
our viewers, when they're asking questions, can be properly educated.
No problem.
Now, digital economy does not mean 419, though.
No, it doesn't.
So you're actually saying that somebody can use that same facility, that same brain, that same gadget to do something different. That's what you're saying here.
Exactly. If you're a writer, let me tell you, for example, and you're a writer, truly. If you check well the internet, there are organizations and human beings, institutions, who want people who will be writing for them, whether on a freelance basis or commission basis. And if you trust yourself, as long as you keep churning out those write-ups and articles, you don't need to go anywhere. You get paid. The money will be landing into your account, and you will stay in your bedroom if you like, writing those things. Right from your brain. I have been paid, and I'm still being paid doing that.
Please, I'm his business manager. So if you want to know how, you have to first consult me and pay me. Then I will tell you how he does it.
Yes.
Okay, now, but this is very interesting.
Yes.
Now, are we looking at only writers? How about other professionals?
I just use that as an example.
So it cuts across the field.
It cuts across. And that is why the central bank and other institutions are interested in what they call the creative sector. You understand? For example, if you are good in drama,
yes,
do your drama, it will be packaged. And there's a way to put it online.
Yes. Now.
And the rest of the world,
we see it,
and you'll be paid. You make money.
They'll subscribe to it, yes.
Exactly.
Okay,
if you're a singer, the same thing. You are good at singing. Your voice will be making money for you. Okay?
I think we'll probably need to get you to see the minister so that we'll see how he can begin to articulate this further. But let's move on.
Okay.
Somebody says to me, now you have tried to give us a generic view.
Yeah.
But can digital economy actually get into everywhere? Because I gave you an example. The woman who is selling bully on the street, for instance. How does this? She doesn't understand what you're talking about.
If you are selling bully on the street, that is what you know. But even that your bully at that corner could be put into the internet, so that somebody somewhere.
Excuse me. How would you put it? You take a photo.
Hold on. Somebody can take the picture of that person in that corner. Because you're sitting somewhere, meaning that you have a fixed address, particular address.
Yes.
Once you have a fixed particular address, the picture will be taken and we put online. And the whole world will see that there's somebody there who is producing bole, and perhaps is one of the sweetest in such a corner, Somebody from somewhere can visit this country and will decide to see that person who is in so corner, who is producing bole. And when the person gets there, he wants to taste the bole, just because it's already in the internet. Let me tell you, digital economy is the internet economy. World Wide Web economy.
Digital economy is the internet.
Yes, economy. So whatever you are doing is known and seen by the rest of the world.
So we should stop hiding what we are doing. That's what you're saying here.
Thank you. Yes. And when you go there, you find better ways of doing whatever you have been doing. You compete with the rest of the world.
Yeah. So there's only
you get exposed to the whole world.
Wow.
That's digital economy.
So even for a fashion designer, You are saying the same thing.
Great. It's a matter of fact that will remove inferiority complex from you. Believing that what you are doing in your corner, in your bedroom, or whatever is inferior to the rest of it. No! Put it there. There are some people who could prefer your own for whatever reason. You never can say.
Now, okay.
Yes.
But Marcel, why are we therefore having difficulties pitching and selling Abba-made or Abba-tailored dresses? Why are we finding it? Why is that a challenge?
Thank you. The challenge, one aspect of the challenge is we have not gone fully digital. That is one challenge. The other challenge is the infrastructural problem.
Back to square one.
Hold on. If you want to go digital, fully, digital economy, and that is why what we are doing now are the preliminary steps that will take us into the digital space. Do you understand? The digital infrastructure that will drive us into the mainstream are not on ground
Like
fully.
what? Like what? For example,
Okay, there's what is called broadband. Broadband technology. It's at rudimentary level here. Do you know some of these GSM companies
Providers, yes.
had to lay their own cable
Yes.
from here to as far as the UK? And this, you understand? So those people are pioneers who are trying to connect to the whole world. So these things are ongoing. And the important thing, like I told you, is that there's not ownership because there's a Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. Do you understand? So where we are today, by God's grace, because it's owned consistently, we're moving forward, bearing whatever unforeseen circumstances.
No, but I'd like you to again go back on the infrastructures because
Okay.
again the deficiency or the deficits.
Okay.
Because that's deficiency. That's a deficit in infrastructures in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Seem to have been a perennial problem. It's a recurrent.
Yeah. You see, for example, when you're talking about internet, if you want to use your phone here,
Yes.
for example, you have to charge it. There should be light.
As basic as
247.
that.
Yes, I just want to mention
As
that.
basic as that.
basic as that. So, and you know that one of our major challenges in this economy is that you don't have light. Okay? That's infrastructure. You don't have that light. You don't have it. And that is what drives everything. Energy. Any moment you don't have that energy. Even in the health sector. Some people have died just because there was no energy at that point in time. So light, I have mentioned it. Let's not go technical. Light. If you have light, for example, I don't know. I have been into pure water business. And part of what stopped it was light, power. Right from my bedroom, I was producing it. But because of the challenge of power, I couldn't continue. If you have power, you can do it from your bedroom. You just be selling the small
So what I'm trying to
sachets.
say now is this: if Nigerians had access to electricity
Yes.
constantly,
Yes.
that means many Nigerians will actually turn out to be business people.
They hook on to the rest of the world, the internet. And that is it.
Okay, now let's move on.
Yes.
It is also good for us to know, now in terms of public awareness
Good.
or educational attainment, are we doing anything in that regard? Are we priming the minds of Nigerians, especially the youth, the younger generation that you just mentioned? Are we disposing them to what they can do with these opportunities? Are we doing that?
I want to thank you for coming up with this question because some institutions are thinking along that line. Like the Lagos Business School, they organized a program the other day and this issue came up. So whether there is need for kind of curriculum change,
Development, yes.
curriculum change, curriculum development, right from the primary to secondary to tertiary institutions. And so, because government has gotten involved, I want to believe that will be part of it. So they introduce some subjects, some courses that will really be showing our people right from the earliest stages of life. You understand? Yes. Look at what you study, look at what you do for you to be able to do this for you going forward. You understand? So that's being done. That's being done. And the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy,
yes,
I believe going forward, will also produce some communication document. Do you understand? That will start telling the rest of this country what the digital economy, that falls within their purview is all about.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I like your optimism.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we can do again with ourselves would be to look at what the world is doing.
Yes.
Now, can you give us, in terms of figures or numbers, if you have those numbers,
okay,
can we see where we are and where the world is when we talk about digital economy and what we are losing by not being part of that picture?
Sorry. You see, the digital economy, from the statistics I have somewhere, economy, is worth about 11.5 trillion US dollars.
Excuse me?
11.5 trillion.
Naira.
Trillion. No, US dollars.
Marcel.
I'm telling you. Listen, you know, when
Business generated is
business generated 11.5 trillion US dollars every year. The rest of the world. Then you come and look at it, where are we? So we have not started. We as a country have not started. Even African country. And that is why we are talking about the African common market.
Yes.
That's still in the making.
Yes. Which we are still discussing.
Yes, that's what I said. It's still in the making. Because the thing is that if you now go digital and there's efficiency in the production of so many things and all that, you know, how do you now export?
Protect.
Who consume this? Who do you now go to? And that is why when we have a common market, we know that the Nigerian market is now beyond Nigeria. You won't be talking about the Nigerian market alone. Ghanaians,
Yes,
Senegalese, Egyptians, and whatever will now be part of your market. South Africa, do you understand? So the whole thing has to work together for us to key into this enormous potential and possibility, you know, that digital economy affords. The rest of the world is already there.
Now, okay, let me say something. If that is commendable, there is a study that ranked Jumia,
Okay,
a Nigerian company,
okay,
as one of the biggest
okay.
online.
Yes, that's
Yes,
e-commerce.
yes, in Africa.
Okay.
Yes, in e-commerce. Yes.
Yes.
Is that a good news or is that a bad news?
Well, it is good in a way, you know, because it challenges us and shows us the possibility, what is even possible, you know, so that Nigerians could now begin to think in that line. So that if these people could do this within our economy or within our continent, somebody else can do it. That's the kind of challenge the owner of our local GSM company. What is that one?
Glow.
Thank you. It was challenge. I see how he has succeeded. We are hearing of South African companies coming here doing this.
Zambia companies.
Glow has succeeded. So any other Nigerian can do what you have just talked about, Jumia. Why not if not?
And that's what we're looking at here now.
This is what we are looking at.
Okay, now let's find a way again to look at what Mr. President is trying to do.
Okay.
Now, this kind of businesses, this kind of instant entrepreneurship, as it were,
Yes.
it will need some funding. You are from the banking sector.
Yes.
You are also still in that sector as a consultant.
Yes.
So how ready are Nigerian banks or Nigerian financial service providers? How ready are they to meet the demands of a digital economy?
Thank you. The whole thing is going to work together. They are ready because they are an integral part of the economy. Remember, there's what is called fintech.
Yes.
And that fintech means financial technology.
Yes.
And the Nigerian banking sector has so embraced fintech that they have even gone far, you know, far beyond the rest of the sectors of the economy. You understand? So, meaning that as other sectors, you know, get digitalized or become digital and begin to demand for money
Support.
to, you know, from the banking sector, they are ready. Not only that, the central bank itself, you know, has given a policy which increase if you now deposit 1,000 with a bank, the bank is compelled to lend out
10%.
65%, which is 65 naira. You know, if you deposit 100,
Yes.
they must give us 65 naira.
So if you
By
deposit
law.
1,000,
If you
that's
depo-
650
Thank you very much.
as loan.
As loan,
At what rate?
the rate is a different thing entirely. The rate is because other
But I like
variables
that.
come into
I like
play.
that. They
Meaning,
are compelled to give us
they are
65%.
compelled. 65% of that 1,000 must be loaned out.
But a lot of bank users, end users, don't know this fact.
No, they know. It's a recent development anyway. It came into effect maybe about the middle of this year.
I see.
The CBN gave 60%, which elapsed September, and when September ending came, they moved it to 65. So meaning that the money is there for you to borrow. It's a question of you putting your business
Documents
together
plan.
in proper shape, and you're eligible. And the central bank has gone beyond that to have some other package loan facilities that are focused on various sectors and operators And that's why I talk about this creative sector.
Yes.
They have something for people in
the creative sector.
in the Nigerian entertainment industry.
Yes.
They have people for farmers in rice. They have people in cocoa. They have people in groundnut. You understand? They have something for the textile sector.
How about the women?
They have something for the women, because that comes under what is called financial inclusion.
Yes.
There's a deliberate policy to attend to women. You understand? So businesses run by women, there's a package for them. But if you check the major banks in this economy, each bank has special product targeted at women entrepreneurs to encourage them.
Now, because you are from that sector,
Yes.
You helped to grow a bank for almost 15 years.
By God's grace.
Yes, and that bank actually became, it came to the pinnacle
By God's grace.
of the sector. But you must admit that it's difficult for end users to approach banks to gain facilities. That seems to be the picture. The picture of the banking sector in Nigeria. So what do we do about that?
Let me tell you, this is a 21st century economy. What that means is that no business person can succeed if you are illiterate. You understand? So once you are not illiterate and you will be able to read to know what to do, and once you do what you should do,
yes,
in terms of putting your documents, properly together, doing the right thing, you understand? If you do a feasibility study, for example, you want to start something.
You want to go
yes. If you want to, not conjuring or conjecturing figures for your head and all that, do feasibility study, that this thing is feasible. How do you do it? When I was in the bank, before we set up any new branch anywhere, we do feasibility study. There's even what is called viability study. Is it going to be viable? You understand? You
Even
study
for you as a bank,
Yes.
with all the money that you have.
We do feasibility, viability study. Will that branch be viable? So we will have indices. You look at indicators that because this exists here, this small market is there, this chemist is at that corner, there's a mama who is selling bole, like you said, in that corner. These are businesses, and so money will be changing hand. And so as a bank, at the end of the day, they'll bring such money into your vault, and so that branch is likely to survive. We do that. That is what any business person has to do.
First.
Yes, first.
And not assume that just
before you jump in.
Yes.
Once you do that and you present that feasibility report to the bank and present their projections, then look at what you are putting in, look at what is coming from where you are projecting that doing this business on a daily basis, you expect to get this much. No, by the time you do it 1 week, 1 month, you are likely to make so much. Yes. And so this is how we project to pay you back your money with the interest. The bank will look at you seriously and consider you. There's no banking if loans are not being given out. And no bank can survive without giving out loans.
Now we'll come back to loans. We'll come back to loans and some of them that are not non-performing. But let's come back to. I'd like to. I think on behalf of our viewers, let me just borrow the brain. Now you're a financial analyst as well too, and you have said something here that is very, very germane. Okay, we'll respond to the question after this break, but we'll take a break shortly. But before, what I want to look at is this. As a financial analyst, the ratio of your expertise and the needs of Nigerians. Do we have sufficient number of people like you to attend to the needs of Nigerians? No, we'll take a break. When we come back, you will tell Nigerians what your answer is. Thank you. Stay with us. You're still to Close Flow.
We must dilate the eyes. We look for if they have cataract, look at the back of their eyes. They have glaucoma. We do a full workup for them.
A lot of our government should actually open their eyes, especially southwest of this place.
When we're looking deeper than we ever looked in before to ensure that we close all the loopholes.
It manifests as physical symptom.
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close Flow. The conversation is about you.
Thank you for staying with us. This is still Close Flow, and we're quite delighted that you're out there waiting patiently so that we can come back and get on to how we can get Marcel to begin to respond to some of your questions and your worries and your complaints and your suggestions on how this digital economy can become a reality in Nigeria. So we must thank all our viewers who have sent their questions already. We are going to be looking at them. But before we do that, Marcel, so you know something. So quickly, now, as a financial analyst, so what are the ratios? Are we ready in terms of your own expertise to meet the demands of those who would like to know, how do I start my business?
Let me tell you, thank you so much. That's why I talked about any person going into business being literate. Do you understand? The world is a global village. And so once you have an idea of what you want to go into, go to the internet. If you can't do it yourself, get people like me who will go to the internet and do the research, internet research, and give you everything is possible, is available to you. At their feet waiting for you to, at their beck and call. You just call and you get it.
So you're saying that people should not be lazy. This is what you're saying.
Exactly. Tell us what you want and don't worry, we look for it and bring to you information. Information is a commodity.
Yes.
And that's what some of us live on. I don't have any company set up anywhere to manufacture anything. I live on information. I'm invited to places to present paper and I'm paid.
For doing that.
For
sharing your knowledge.
Exactly.
Okay, so I've said to you, I'm the business manager. So if you want to contact him for him to come and speak, please just make sure you reach me first. Now, we have Shade from Ojuelegba. Shade says, you talk about digital economy. Where is the internet network? Where the internet network is epileptic. So how can somebody be talking about digital economy? That's what she's asking.
Thank you. And that is what I was telling you about.
Say thank you to her, Shade.
Okay, Shade, I want to thank you for this question. But that's what I pointed out earlier on about our infrastructural challenge. There's being epileptic doesn't mean there's somebody somewhere that is pulling something up and down. It is the infrastructure weakness. And if the infrastructure is in a perfect state, there will be no that weakness of the system. And everyone will be working. So in the interim, at the moment, we have to bear with this infrastructure challenge. But it's obvious to the government and all stakeholders. And so I believe it will get even better going forward. Honestly.
I like your optimism. You don't want us to dwell too much on yes.
No. We were nowhere before. We're already somewhere.
Yeah, now.
Yes.
So we can still get somewhere again.
Exactly.
So Shade, have you heard that? So don't get discouraged.
At all.
Now, Tola from Oshodi says, digital economy, where there is no power, we are absolutely not ready.
We cannot say there is no power. It's a plenty supply of power. Yeah, exactly.
The same thing that you said before.
Exactly. But the government keep promising us that they are trying to bring the issue of power on the front burner, and so it will be handled. So we are believing. We are believing it will be done. And I have said it for the often time, once you get power right, almost every other thing will fall into place.
Well, okay, so Tola is agreeing with you. Yes, it is true that power issue is a big problem.
It is.
Now, Oba from Igondo, he says, pardon me, sir, is this digital economy for those in high-brow areas only? Because it seems that those are the real most valuable persons in Nigeria. The rest of us are nothing.
Thank you so much.
Oba from Igondo.
Oba, thank you so much for this question. And that is why the banking sector, for example, is embarking on what is called financial inclusion. That effort is aimed at driving financial transactions or financial activity to the hinterland. And that's why you have the banked and the unbanked segment of the society. So people who are in the hinterland, who are in the remotest parts, who are in the villages, do you understand? How do you reach them and all that? Okay? And that is why we're also talking about technology that will allow you to use your phone wherever you are on the surface of the earth.
Yes.
Do you understand? So, and that's why we're talking about internet banking. So by the time you have your phone and you are staying in the remotest part of this country and you're able to use your phone to do financial transactions and all that, you can now see that you are part and parcel of this digital space we are talking about. But having said that, that is why the issue of power is very important. Because when we talk about power, even if you are living in a cave, you need power there. You understand? For certain things to work for you. Yeah. Okay? So everything still comes back to the infrastructure. As long, certain things will work as far as the infrastructure could go. So the more the infrastructure gets into the hinterland, the remote places, the more every person
will be part of
it, and the power to be part of it. All things being equal.
So what you are saying again, you know, it's quite warming, you know, as it were, because the government itself is now embedded in this story.
Yes.
And government will provide infrastructure.
Going forward.
Yes.
Consistently.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yes, incrementally or exponentially, you know, over time.
Okay, all right. So, Oba, don't get discouraged also. That's what he's saying here. Lola from Ekpori. Our educational system is not in a position where we can successfully achieve digital economy. What do you say to that?
Well, but we are starting from somewhere. That is why if you go to some secondary school in this country now, you hear about computer lab.
Yes, ICT.
Some years ago, you didn't hear anything like that. When you have computer lab, it means that our children are being exposed to the basics, the fundamentals. You understand? And so when we embrace digital economy concept and everything as a country, we move from having only computer lab to some other things they should know. You understand? To hook on.
Yes.
So we don't have to lose hope. It's a question of getting better. You understand?
By the day.
Exactly.
Because tomorrow is another day.
That is it. Getting better.
All right, Fumi from Sulere. I think we have all the ladies calling you.
Oh, good.
Fumi from Sulere says, as an entrepreneur, this should excite me, but I'm not because I know this would just bother me more than rather than ease my situation.
Let me tell you that, let it challenge you to become curious. You understand? Because it's curiosity that brings solution to challenges and issues of life. If you just...
That is Fumilayo.
I am telling Fumilayo and I'm telling our listeners, become curious. Digital economy, ask yourself, what is it? You understand? Ask people who should know. Google it. You understand? Do internet research, what is it? And see how it will help whatever you are doing. Whatever you are doing. And the internet economy, like I said, can help whatever it is you are doing for a living. I can assure you, whatever. Do you understand? Because digital it applies in the health sector. Everywhere. It applies in the mining sector. It applies in the hotel sector.
Just explain how an ordinary Bolly woman can also be part of it.
Everybody. Look, we are going to what is called artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence means that some of the things you are doing as a human being, you have robots and all that will now take it over from you. So when you know this, you start thinking ahead. How do I now continue to survive?
Before
my job is taken away.
Marcel, you're not very careful. Some people are going to be panicking now. now, but it is also good for us to look at this seriously. Okay. Can we begin to measure? Is there any way we can, are there metrics for us to look at in terms of e-commerce and digital economy? Do you have, how do we see where we are growing or where we are failing? Do we have any?
Let me say that in terms of e-commerce,
yes,
we're doing well. You mentioned Jumia.
One of the companies, yes.
Yes, sorry, you mentioned one of the companies. There's also Gigi, there's the other one, you know. They are all doing well in this Nigerian economy. Some of them that are not doing well
yes,
in some other economies have closed down. In the center, I don't want to mention,
yes, I know. Yes.
The companies and the locations.
Yes.
You understand? So, but the Nigerian market is such a huge market, and the consciousness and the awareness is growing by the day. You know, people who would rather jump into a Dubota or they told you a show market looking for everything and all that, they now know that they can stay in their house and use their apps and use their phone and browse and see what those people have and they buy the thing online, e-commerce. So this has been doing well here in Nigeria for a couple of years now, and it's getting better. And those people are getting volume of business. It's a question of volume. How many persons are patronizing or using the online channel? And so many are keen in and doing so. Their business is sustained and sustainable. Do you understand? So that is one aspect. But the other aspect is where, for example, you mentioned the awareness. The Bole woman does she know how to key to this? So many people are like that. Somebody that has a barbering salon.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Somebody that has a hairdresser.
Yes.
And all that.
Yes.
Do you know that if you key into it, like we said about the Bole woman, if you're a hairdresser or a barber shop somewhere, and you key into the internet, some people will see your style
and
of haircut and can travel. Some people, some tourists can travel from the remotest part of this earth, look and come to Nigeria looking for you.
Now that you have mentioned that, it's amazing because African hairdos actually right now, they are trending.
Fantastic. And people are rushing to patronize.
They want to learn. They want
those
to learn
artistic and beautiful things to learn, even learn.
That's what you're saying here now.
Yes. And so when those people, you know how curious, these Igbo people can be when they see certain things. They say, please, who is doing this? How do I know about it and all that? And they'll be rushing.
Okay,
to come and you'll be making your pounds selling in dollars.
Okay, how about euro? and the yen. Okay, no. Let's bring it back home because I have my crew here.
Okay.
So can you situate where people in this industry, a cameraman for instance, an audio person for instance, how can they benefit? What is their benefit in digital economy? Where would they?
You see, let me tell you, until you go the TVs, this in Nigeria goes fully digital. For example, this thing we are doing here now, there's a way it will be online.
Yes.
And people will
live.
be live. And people will be looking at the whole thing that's been done and see the work of the camera person, every one of you. I will be able to have the technical knowledge to analyze it and say, oh, this program, was expertly handled by who? That's where it now comes to who did what. Do you understand? It's online. Meaning that somebody in Italy can
Germany
or Germany or wherever and watch this thing we are doing here. And is not constrained by the issue of reach. They say NTA cannot reach this, cannot. It's because it's not gone fully digital. If NTA goes fully digital, whatever you are doing will be available to the rest of the world. You understand? And that's why I talk about the world being a global village. You understand? So that is how it come to you. But meanwhile, because you are not there yet,
that is the truth.
They will notice you.
And that brings it again to the entire Nigerian space.
Yes.
So until Nigeria also, elevates itself to that.
Yes.
Yes. We might not be able to actually benefit from that humongous money you mentioned.
Exactly. But the important thing is that government appears to have started focusing attention on that
this,
by having that ministry that will now.
So you really commend
exercise. Yes, I commend it. That will exercise ownership, and so when they own it, and gradually those things that should be in place for us to get there will be put in place. It's not a one-day thing. You understand? It has to be consistent.
That's a starting point.
Yeah, exactly. And so they keep building on it over time. This infrastructure is in place. This one is in place. This is in place. This is in place. And we want to believe that the issue of power will keep getting better rather than either being static or worsening. You understand? So we keep moving up like that. And by the time we get to a certain level, if the thing is 100%, by the time we get to 80%, 90% of it, we are there. The rest of the world.
We are competitive.
Yes.
Now, okay, let's come to the question of policy and regulations.
Okay.
Because again, that seems to be one of the major bane of development here on this part of the world.
Okay.
We don't have, like you said, consistent policies and regulations.
Yes.
Today we start well. By tomorrow, somebody's flouting, somebody's... so, how do you...
Again, the government is starting well by having some institutions and agencies in place that should be regulated.
Now, next level.
Regulating and
managed,
monitoring. Do you understand? Because of human nature, if things are not properly regulated and monitored, they are all subject to all kinds of abuses. Do you understand? And that is why NCC, for example, has been in place. Nigeria Communication Commission has been in place. There's also NITDA.
Yes.
Do you understand? So these agencies are there, and they are the ones that will now be driving the digital process for Nigeria to, keep getting better. You understand? So, if I must mention, I happen to be on the board of what is called the Digital Bridge Institute.
Yes.
Which is, in quote, a university owned by the NCC over the years, that trains its technical staff and all that. Yes. So, meaning you can see how serious they are in terms of training. You understand? Because let us not deceive ourselves. We don't have all the skills, all the knowledge on ground here in Nigeria. Do you understand? So if somebody needs to be sent to Okeke Bridge, for example, he has to be sent. The organization I was working for before sent me. I have gone on trainings, in London, in US, in South Africa. So people should be sent abroad for training.
To acquire the necessary
skill. And so when that is done and they come back and be doing the right things, do you understand? So it means that environment, that supports the digital economy will be created and sustained.
Okay, now
Okay.
let me come to another aspect of
Okay.
this digital economy that some people think that maybe Nigeria is not pushing her weight sufficiently, and that's in terms of development of applications.
Okay. Development of-
India,
Okay.
China, even Mexico,
Okay.
Brazil, even Kenya. We have found people here who are developing applications that are suitable, who are providing solutions within their environment. So why are we not doing that? Why are we not doing that around here?
Thank you. There's what is called the digital space.
Yes.
The important thing is the awareness. You understand? There's a word people will to incentivize. You understand? So meaning that somebody is drawn into doing something. For example, you are the one telling me here about what the president has done, you know, to institute the digital economy, the foundational whatever.
Yes.
Here we're also talking about a ministry of communication and digital economy. You understand? So a young man who studied electrical electronics engineering, for example, in the university, and knows that, look at what government is putting in place and all that. Meaning that if he tries to develop this app for this, for that, you understand? And the government will even be ready to collaborate with him, to encourage him, you understand? Or to even now say, okay, now you have this kind of skill, let us train you further.
That's the point.
Yes,
I like that. I like that position.
That's it.
So that could be part of the strategy in this paper that the government has just said.
Exactly. So I don't have that document, but I want to believe that part of it will be that if you have this skill, and this, government is likely to pick you and train you further, so that when you come back, you'll be one of the people that will drive the digital economy process. You understand?
That's very encouraging.
Very encouraging, and I can assure you that is in place. NIDA has a scholarship in that direction.
Wow.
Yes. Annual scholarship for people who are, especially the engineering sector.
Yes.
You understand? And computer engineering and related courses. So this time it will happen more. You understand? Because we need more engineers. You know, people who are into apps, applications, and all that preparation and packaging and so on. So many things.
Okay, now let's flip it back.
Okay.
So, what or where do you see the responsibilities of telecom companies operating in this environment, in all this? They are, I mean, key stakeholders. They are also major beneficiaries.
Sure.
Now, so, where do you see their own responsibilities in what we are talking about here?
You know, when you talk about telecom, you have the voice, you have the data.
Data, yes.
You understand?
We are looking at both.
So over the years, we have been so much into voice, you know.
Just talking.
Yeah, exactly. But recent time, you know, data is coming into it and all that. So what that will mean is a bigger market for them. A bigger market for them. You understand? So, but this time, it will not be voice alone.
Yes.
So data will be involved.
Yes.
And some other things, you know, that we
They
make
have to
them
add.
exactly to make them make more money. Okay. Now, instead of you looking for either a laptop or a tablet or a desktop or whatever, and you use your phone, you know, which works for you as a computer, whatever, all those things together and all that. I mean, the telecom company will have a way to key into that development so that the phone you are holding, as you are using it to make your phone call, the data is there for you to order, process some other things, do your document, send it by email, send it by that and that. You understand? So the whole thing is integrated. And they will all key into it. That is it. So it will bring a business boom and expansion to each one of them. Do you understand? That's what's going to happen.
Now you are very futuristic.
Sure.
Maybe by the time you go for your next paper, you have to invite us so that we can look at what the issues are together.
Sure.
Now, before we let you go, quickly, candidly, very briefly, candidly, do you see a future from this document that the Mr. President has shared with the Nigerian public?
Wonderful. Yes. You know, I am also a sustainability scholar. The important thing is that we have to plead with the government to be consistent and persistent in pushing the document that has been put together. Do you understand? So that the issue of policy somersault that we've always cried about in this country does not afflict or affect the document. Because the whole world, the rest of the world, is going digital. And we cannot afford to look back now that our hands are already on the plow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marcel.
Thank you.
It's been nice talking with you. It's been very, very exciting.
Thank you.
Your opinions, your impressions, and of course some of the expertise you have brought onto this. And of course, for our viewers, we want to thank you again also for being part of the conversation. You know that it's never over with you, especially on this show. So go to all our social media handles. You know, get some of the opinions is shared. Don't get discouraged. Get curious. Ask the questions. Find out where your own space is within that digital economy and go and fill it up. That's what you just said here. Thank you, and it's bye for now.